November 21st. Now call to order. Okay, would you lead us in prayer?
I will. Father, it's come this season of Thanksgiving. We're just grateful for the way you have watched over our community this last year. We just remember those people who serve the city are not with us anymore. We're grateful for them and their service. We're grateful for the way that you direct us and in the decision that this council makes. May it all said and done tonight be to your glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So a copy of the minutes is attached to your agenda. Hope everyone's had time to review those minutes. If everything is okay, I need a motion for approval on those minutes, please.
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Cheers. John, that. But that was like, I was down here for some reason. First thing we have on the agenda tonight is the purchase of a new police cruiser for our police department. And Jeff Kearns has come to us, and this has been going on for a little bit. They actually need another vehicle. They've applied for grants that we keep applying for all the time. The 5 out of 7 vehicles that we have now has all been bought by grants. But right now, there's not any available. We need a vehicle. Those grants are still in there applied for, so if one comes open down the road, you know, and we can get another vehicle, we will through a grant. But right now, they need another vehicle. And Jeff's not here. I was gonna let him tell you a little bit about, you know, the situation and what's going on. But they've been looking at them, and he's actually, they found a couple that I think the thoughts kind of are, and I'm getting on into the next purchase that we're looking at also, but if we do purchase, we're gonna look at purchasing a vehicle for ABC use also. If we do that, what he's talked to the dealer and stuff about is looking at getting the same vehicle, the same type, which is a Dodge Durango.
They're for the Dodge Durango Pursuit Package.
And the reason is what you kind of want to look at, I guess, is if we do agree and we purchase these vehicles, we look to be able to, in a couple of years or whatever, the ABC vehicle gets to where we need a new one or something for that, then we want to be able to pass that down to the police department, and they'll be able to use that vehicle at the same time, instead of just having a vehicle that you have no use for once it gets so many miles on it. So that's kind of what he's been getting prices and stuff on. How do you want to tell him a little bit about what?
We ran the paper. I got a quote before because we were trying to get a grant, that RD 7525 grant, and we got the quotes, but nobody done the still bid at all. So we did not get one in. So that allows us to go right back, you know, when he's actually cheaper than state contract price. Something like Bill Jones or Don Frank. They were 42,808. They are 23 models. He had 23s in stock, ready to go. They were, I want to say, about 1,800 cheaper on the vehicle. But we have budget. Actually, both of these are in the budget. The new 24-25 budget. They were both proposed in that budget. Both of these purchases. When we didn't get any bids, we need approval to, you know, move on.
It's 42-1, I'm sorry.
42,808, and they're
That's cheaper than state contract contract, right?
Yeah, he runs them, I don't know how they do that, but I mean, the state contract, I don't even, that's not even really a thing anymore, the way they run them. But he would have to explain that to you, I don't know, Bill Jones would. But anyway, they came in at 42,808 for both vehicles. They're just all-wheel drive pursuit package.
Is it the same specs that it would be for any police agency? I mean,
Yeah.
they've not kept down the specs on it?
No, it's the exact same thing. Actually, it's the exact same thing we bought last time, exact same vehicle.
And it's what they recommend too for the size and the.
Yeah, it's the
It's what
pursuit
they
package.
recommended for the pursuit package. And, then also he's got a price also. Of course, the vehicle for the police would have to be equipped.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at an additional, I think it's close to
Right at
20,000
20.
to equip it for the vehicle for the police. So you're looking at one that you're probably around 60,000, and then you're looking at another vehicle around 42, but of course we'll get into that ABC vehicle, but, they do need another cruiser. The one they've got has got.
We probably made enough off the other ones to, off the surplus sale, to get close to equipping, and then once we get one more, we'll have another one surplus out too, so that'll cover equipment anyway.
So, but Jeff has, he's come to me numerous times and we've talked about it, and we've kind of put it off as long as we can, and we are, in the process of getting another officer, so that's the whole thoughts, that we're gonna be without a vehicle, and one that Jamie Rogers has is just really old, and got a lot of miles, and so it's not something we can pass down to somebody coming in that's gonna be out here on the road. So, they do need a vehicle.
We need a motion to go up. One of these can be paid for with the alcohol tax revenue.
And that's what we'll get, yes, on the purchase of the ABC vehicle. Right now, the city has no vehicle, just like going to KLC, going to meetings, running, Tyler, going back and forth, everybody uses their own vehicles. It's been that way the whole time because we just don't have an extra vehicle. We have money in our ABC account, which can only be used for certain things. And it would qualify for an ABC vehicle. So we've not used the money that we have in the ABC account because we haven't had a need for anything that we can use it for, So we do need a vehicle for these trips. We went to KLC, everybody drove. There's another KLC coming up in January, so, there's gonna be trips and stuff and we can use the ABC money to purchase that. So I guess if, first we would need a motion, to purchase the police vehicle. If you all are in favor of doing that,
Make a motion to buy.
Need a motion by Barry? Need a
Second.
Second by William? All in favor? Any opposed? And then the second would be to pull money from our ABC account to purchase a vehicle. And this cost may vary a little bit. We got this in September, but it's not going to vary much. If there's much of a variance, we'll come back and discuss it, but we don't feel like.
Are they still available though if they're 2023s?
He told me, about a week ago, he was getting an invoice shot down, and he was like, that's him. I'll probably have to go get it, just to be honest, I'll drive to Somerset to get it.
Yeah, and I think Jeff had talked to him different times, and he's been keeping quite a few because of the increase on the newer ones.
Yeah.
The newer ones are outrageous. That's why we're looking at a 22, 23, because the new ones are way more expensive than what these are. Big price increase in them. And so that's kind of the point too. And, you wait till you can get a grant, you're gonna be looking at buying a brand new one, and who knows what the price of those are gonna be, even if you get the grant,
I make a motion to, take the money, the ABC money and use it to purchase a vehicle for the ABC office.
Okay, got a motion by Tony,
Second.
second by William. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we'll get with Jeff, have Jeff to get with him and see about getting that purchased and then getting it equipped. And then, like I say, we do have another guy right now that is going through the classes and stuff for a new officer. We're kind of low right now on police, and so we'll have that maybe by the time we get the officer ready to go, because they have all the training to go through. Next thing we have is we need to go into an executive session KRS 611810 to discuss sale of property.
I'll make a motion, we enter executive order, or executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. No action was taken in executive session. That's the only thing we have on the agenda, but a few things that I have to talk about. This first thing, we need to, our Christmas home decorating, it's time to do that again. You know, we've done that the last 2 years, and we've done it's all been contained to the city limit properties. And I believe that our prizes was 400, 300, and 200, is that correct, Tyler? First, second, and third. So it's time to do that again. We need to start advertising for that, because we need to let people know what we're doing. So, anybody that's interested in doing that, because what we do is give them a date that they have to be called in and signed up by a certain date, and then right before Christmas, like 2 or 3 days before, normally is when we take judges out to judge the properties. So we need to get that out there so people's got time, whoever wants to do it has time to be planning on it. But do we want to keep it the same? Do we want to look at doing it any different? What's your all's thoughts on, because I'm going on the radio in the morning, I need to get out there what we're.
Do we currently have like a residential division, I guess, and a business? I mean, I'd like to get more of the businesses involved in it too.
Well, we did that both years we did
Nobody
residential
entered,
plus business, and nobody entered in the businesses.
That's right, yeah.
We had those separate, but we just didn't have anybody that, and I'm like you, I'd like to get everybody involved. I'd like to get the whole town decorated.
Those on the square or around the square.
And maybe going and talking to them might help a little bit to say, but we just need to kind of decide how we want to do it. Do we want to do it the same as we did it? Do we want to leave the same prizes? Do we want to look at different options or what? Because we need to probably tomorrow get it out there what we're doing. Because, this is the 21st of November, so they've got basically a month probably to be done. And with the weather, you've only got so many days you can get outside and work. So, any thoughts on doing anything any different? Y'all want to leave it as it was, or what's your all's thoughts?
It's worked pretty good for you, I mean, for judges and whatnot,
And we
increase.
just try to get judges that, it's not in Jamestown. I've always tried to pick somebody that didn't really know the houses that were in it and just take them around to them. And it's worked good, but, we've had, I think normally, about 6 houses is about what we've had each year. So, is there anything we can do to get more interest in it or not? I don't know. I do see a lot of Christmas lights out already this year, so maybe there is a little more.
You see all the candy canes up at Southern Nest Realty there?
Mm-hmm.
I just noticed them coming home from work this evening.
No, I haven't noticed that one, yeah. They're a business in city limits, you know. I think they decorated some last year, but they hadn't entered the contest, so. And if y'all noticed, the square is starting to get decorated. We've got a few more things. We're trying to add something every year, and, so that's all going up. Probably go get the tree next week for Christmas on the Square, and that has been moved to Saturday. Everybody's aware of that instead of Friday, 5 to 8. So, but trying to get the town decorated up. I did call over to the judge's office and said, y'all got stuff to decorate with because it's a community thing. They said they've got some stuff coming in, so hopefully we can get town, you know, decorated up pretty good.
The prize money, does 500 for winter sound more enticing than 400 for winter?
I thought, I briefly mentioned this to Regena, that maybe if we got some sponsors to sponsor some prizes and raise the prizes some, that it might pique more interest.
So if you guessed
Yeah.
2,
Yeah, I think you're thinking along the same lines as I was, you know, get some corporate and business sponsors to sponsor some prizes, the cash prizes, and then maybe some of the other businesses sponsor a gift certificate for a dinner or something. You know, just as other additional prizes.
yeah.
The only thing I say there is we need to kind of know how to advertise it, you know.
Well,
We're
you
gonna
got to go
in-
tomorrow though, aren't you?
Yeah, are we gonna
Yeah,
say
it's kinda
that?
late.
It's
Yeah.
kind of late to try to, you know, say
This
we're
year.
gonna have, this and that as special prizes, you know, it's kind of hard to, because if we don't get it out there now, you know, they're not gonna have time to, do you wanna, I mean.
I say let's go with what we did last year for now, and maybe if you want to up the prize money a little bit or something, but
It's up to you all.
next year we might look at doing something along
Well,
those
we
lines.
could get, you know, we could throw in dinner from some of the different restaurants here, you know.
The only thing right now, I think that might be a little harder is they've really been hitting the business for the bicentennial celebration for the county. They've been hitting all the businesses for donations, you know, the last month or so, where they're getting ready to start, because their plans, I think, on that is doing something every month, starting in January for the whole year until the bicentennial. So they've been hitting a lot of businesses, and too, we're short on time, so.
Yeah.
I would say if you want to raise it to 500, or if you want to leave it at 400, it's probably our best to try to just, you know, this year, and then maybe next year look to, but that's whatever y'all want to do.
Yeah,
I
that
think it was 500, or 400, 300, 200, and it was a business 400, and there was just one prize,
Yeah, I think that's what we done last year.
because there's not as many businesses, you know. Or we can change that if you all want to, if we do have more businesses, so just kind of whatever y'all want to do. We can leave it the same, or we can up it a little.
Is there a link on the city website where you say if a person wanted to sign up to compete in it, they could go on the city website and do that without having to come to City Hall or?
Well, what we've done in the past is just have them to call, because we need their address and stuff for when we go out to judge, you know. I mean, they could go onto the city website, but in the past, we've just said call City Hall, give them your name and your address, and then that night, we just give that to the judges, and we just keep a list here at city. And then we have the plaque, you know, that's got the, they put the winners on every year.
Grace Foley
Grace
Hall
Foley.
Memorial.
Home decorating, yeah. Leave it the same or up it?
I said they the same you had last year.
Okay, all right. So we'll get that information out in the morning, and then we'll get it on the city side, and then, just try to advertise it as much as we can. Anybody that you can tell, try to get people Also, another thing, there's a truck going, another truck that they're taking donations to South Carolina that Les, I don't know who all was working on it. I know Les worked on it here from the city. You know, they took a couple trucks to North Carolina and stuff, and they've got another one getting ready to go. I believe it's going out December the 3rd, maybe, to South Carolina. So if anybody knows anybody that wants to donate, or if anybody has anything, they can bring it here and we'll take it down to the truck and get it to there. Because I think it's down in Eli where the truck's at. But if you know of anybody wants to donate anything, anybody, just get that to the city. If you don't want to take it down to the truck, and we'll make sure it gets down there. Last thing I have is just congratulations to Gail and all the council members for,
Thank you.
another 2 years term. Always nice when it's over with, I know, when you don't have to worry about it, so, but congratulations, Gail, we're glad to have you,
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
and,
Appreciate everything.
we just give you
Got
one
some big
minute.
shoes to fill.
Pardon?
I said you got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I know it.
So, but anyway, does anybody else have anything they want to talk about, or?
I had a question. I had something that's been on my mind since we had voted on it. But our marijuana ordinance, we had, of course, we had a presentation, and of course, Tadpole's not here, but I feel like we hurried into that vote, and we still had a month or two left to research it. You know, I know we've got a January deadline we can option out if we want to. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not saying option out, but I think that it needs to be looked at. You know, I'm not completely sure from his presentation what it entails completely, you know. I think we need to have some kind of control over what does happen with coming in here. You know, I know that medical marijuana is going to be, it's going to be everywhere. You know, I think doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get anything from distribution or growing or anything. But I think we need to have some kind of say on, you know, if it goes eventually recreational. I'm not sure that.
Well, now, the agreement that was agreed upon does allow whatever to come in here as far as a growing or a place where they can come in and use prescriptions, a dispensary that allows that. That's whatever they want to do there. Now, from my understanding, and I've tried to read up a lot on this stuff, but the recreational has never been passed by the state. That is up in January, I believe, is when that goes, so whether that's passed or not. But it was in the contract that the ordinance that was agreed upon in here, that they could put in whatever they wanted to. Am I right, HK, on that?
That's correct.
You know, whoever come in here and wanted to put in something, they had the right to do that, as long as it meets the requirements, I guess, that the state requires for what's being put in. So, that was in the ordinance. So, kind of from what I feel like you're saying is, you want to relook at the ordinance that we.
I'd like to be able to see that we can have some control over, a county or a city can control.
The way I
Is that correct?
I think one disadvantage our town had, we do not have zoning. And that would be one way that where it's located, that would be the control, you know, of where a dispensary would be or whatever, for zoning, but we do not have zoning in Jamestown. The way the ordinance is, the way the law is, you vote to have it. If there's somebody come in and put a grow facility in, or a processing facility, or a dispensary, any of those things. we're getting ready to draw a lottery on dispensary, what, next week or something
I
like
think
that?
so,
And, of course, I guess one thing, Barry would be, who knows who's gonna get the thing. It's far more complicated than I think we realized when we voted on it, as far as, because it seems like all the big emphasis is in the larger areas rather than here in this part of the world.
Of course, we're not even up, or we don't even have an application in for this lottery that's getting ready to be drawn, because
Right.
we opted in after that. Well, there was not enough time, there was 2 weeks, I believe, to get an application in, and that was not enough time for anybody to get that.
Russell Springs is, but we're not.
Right, Russell Springs is in, they opted in already, so,
Did I understand correctly when I was reading about the election results and stuff that a lot of cities and counties across the state actually put this on the ballot to be voted on?
Yes.
And most, if not every one of them, had approved medical marijuana. Is that correct?
That's somehow, yes.
I think, when I went there, of course, it's another state, but just going to Gatlinburg, I seen numerous dispensaries who, that was open, different places.
I don't know how any
I
of
guess
the
this-
referendums came. Does any of the press know how any of those elections went?
Every city or county that had it on the ballot, it passed. And I think there was 90 to 100 of them.
Is that right?
I thought I heard a little over.
Yeah, all of our, all the ones that were on the ballot in neighboring areas, all across the state, they all passed.
So you're saying the city council did what other counties did by popular vote?
Yeah, some of them chose to put it on the ballot, let the citizens decide. Everywhere that happened, the citizens wanted it.
Yeah, I think I'm saying this correct, there was a little over 100 cities and counties.
It was
that had on the
like
ballot.
90 to 100, maybe a little bit more. It was in that ballpark.
And none of them voted it down, correct? That's what I.
Not to my knowledge.
And I guess a big concern, I think, of a lot of people is the difference is the ordinance that we passed is only for medical. We would have to pass another ordinance to even if the state passes that recreational is allowed, we would have to pass the city could make that decision
another level.
on the recreational, whether you wanted to pass that or not. That would have to be a whole separate ordinance. But,
Well, it just, like I say, there's been a lot of questions there. And we did kind of rush through it when we allotted some time to, of course, we've got another month coming up. If we wanted to, this just a thought, if we repealed it and then rewrote it the way we wanted, but that's just a thought.
Barry, I don't think you can rewrite it the way you want it.
You don't think we can?
the ordinance has to be the way that it's, I mean,
I think you
what
just have to
we
vote.
passed is the option,
I
right?
think it is, yes.
Let's just cut and dry.
It is. You just in or out.
Yeah.
Because we don't have zoning.
Right. Now, if we had a zoning ordinance, we could say no dispensaries on the square, no dispensaries, near the Catholic Church, things like that. But we don't have that. Now, Russell Springs does. I don't know what, it would probably be a commercial type thing.
Yeah.
The guy that was here said they had got or was looking at getting the old Woody's restoration there across
Right.
the step from Ripto's
Right.
funeral home.
But I think it'll be a long time before anything happens in this area, honestly.
Okay.
I'm just thinking, I guess, at this point, I mean, if that's something that you, like you say, we can't change the ordinance.
Well, yeah, I
that is
can understand that.
done that, but what we would have to do, I think, is, we'd have to, I guess, have a motion to repeal what we put into effect, and then we would have to have a new ordinance which we can't really change anything on.
Can't
it,
change it,
no.
we don't have zoning, you can't do it
We
anyway.
just opted out at that point.
Yeah, that's the only, you could, yeah, you're either
In or out.
opting in or opting
Yeah.
out, pretty much, I guess, from, if you can't change anything.
You can't change the tweaking.
I didn't know putting it on the ballot for a local option election for the citizens to vote on was an option of that. That's what it would have been my preferred way of doing it, but I didn't know that was an option for us to do that.
And I think that was kind of the point that, you know, we needed to check more into it before we had to vote on it, but it came up and we had to do it. So, you know, there was and then just not knowing, I guess, at the time was a lot of what all that you could do or what all the rules were, because it was so new, and I think it's still new. I think there's still a lot of stuff that they really don't know what all's gonna change on it, so. But where we're at this point, I believe, is we either have to leave it as it is, or we have to have a motion to repeal that.
And repeal it altogether.
And then we would have to have 2 readings, I guess, to do that, you know, just like we did to put the ordinance in. So that's up to you all, if you want to leave it as we have voted it in the past, or if you want to look at repealing it and going through. We would have to have 2 more, and this would have to be done before the first of the year, because we've already sent in to the state that we've opted in. You know, we've already sent that information in to the state, so.
Well, like I said, I had no idea about the zoning, you know, with that, throwing a wrench into what we can say about it.
Yeah, it's pretty much opt in or opt out from what he's saying, I feel like. Everybody good, or what's? So yes, it is. Everybody good with that? I mean, everybody, we want to make sure everybody's.
It's either keep what we got or repeal it altogether.
That's right. Mhm. What?
He's missed the ball game.
You missed?
We missed another ball game.
Not even playing tonight. Are we good? Or is everybody good? Eric, where you at?
Don't know. I don't know.
I'm worried about the ball game.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Yeah, I know.
If we want, you know, if you want to think about it, what we probably need to do is call a special meeting if we want to revamp it,
Some of them
because
come on and
our
say.
time's running out.
Yeah.
We can do a
I just-
special meeting and.
I wish we had a little say-so in
When you
this
get over
situation,
it,
you know,
they'll
about
watch ball game.
what
Where
could
it
be
could
where.
be. And that's what H says, that's where
Yeah.
we have no zoning.
Well, like I say, I didn't have any idea on that.
That brings that in.
The woman don't like them, she stays in the house that way.
If it comes here, I think you can assume it's gonna be somewhere near the lake. When I was talking, usually. He was all about Michigan people smoking. Or E or whatever they do call him anymore.
Yeah.
We good? Okay. Anything else? Anybody have anything else they want to talk about? Anybody out there? Renee, everything good with you? Okay.
Probably tell you this, Tyler, if you see if I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. There's some people up at Mayberry. Said they got some weeds, but they pulled out between them and the health department. It was getting them some trouble, some older people.
I'll check on it tomorrow.
All right.
And just a little information, they are looking at, we fixed these sidewalks over here. The employees are looking at fixing that place down below Giovanni's too, the sidewalk down there. But it's dependent on the weather, whether you'll get that before or not, but it will be fixed eventually. I just don't know when it'll be with the weather as it is now. You know, you can't pour concrete if you can't go out and do that kind of stuff. It may be spring, but that is something that they're also gonna fix that sidewalk down there. We're just looking at every place in town and fix one at a time.
Town's shaping up, it really looks, it's amazing what you can see anymore.
And there's more coming at there. She's been out running around town and figuring out what to light up. It's gonna look good.
Everybody good? I need a motion to dismiss.
I make a motion to dismiss.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Everybody else can stay
Thank you all.
here.
I got time.
Hey,
Penny ball game, I think.
There you go.
You have it there?
all right.
Go put some of that paper.
I'll fix that, Rich.
Don't fly. I'm sweeping up.
Take it back to
You're gonna have to buy a new clock.
Yeah,